Thanks again for sticking with us. All right, today the Texas House of Representatives approved a motion to support paying back Attorney General Ken Paxton for any of his lost wages during his impeachment trial. The total amount would be more than $63,000. And our Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim is here to discuss what this all means. Dylan, quite the development today in the House for sure, but you reported this is more of a symbolic move. Explain why that is.
Yeah, it really is symbolic because nothing official happened today. Like the House did not vote on actually paying back Ken Paxton that $63,000 check. We have to give you some context because right now we're so close to passing, the state is so close to passing its budget. The phase we're in right now is that a few members of the Senate and a few members of the House of Representatives are going to meet in a closed room to iron out those final details of our budget. And all this motion was today, which is called a motion to instruct, is just the House members saying to those few people, hey, when you're in there, really fight to make sure that you carve out $63,000 from the Texas House's budget to pay back Ken Paxton for his lost wages while he was impeached and going through a Senate trial. For the months that he did not get paid his salary. So it did pass along party lines today. We'll see if this happens in that closed room meeting because just because this motion passed does not mean that Ken Paxton will be getting any kind of paycheck here soon. It's not guaranteed.
And we should just note that when the House impeached Ken Paxton a couple of years ago, he was removed from office temporarily until the Senate trial was all finished and complete, and he was acquitted for that and allowed to return to work.
Very good point.
So what is the likelihood of him actually getting back the money that they're putting aside, or at least identifying today?
You know, it's funny because some Democrats raised questions about constitutionality of this because we have seen in the past, even the comptroller has told Ken Paxton in the past, you're not getting paid because state law does not allow it. In fact, there are some government and state employees who could get back pay for being suspended, like law enforcement, teachers, even some judges. But Glenn Hagar, the Texas comptroller, has said in the past that the law does not allow office holders, so people who are elected, to get back pay if you have been suspended, even if you were not convicted of a crime, as Ken Paxton was not convicted of those 16 articles of impeachment. But you think about, like, will this pass? Think about who voted to impeach Paxton back in 2023. Dade Phelan was the Speaker of the House at the time. Today, he voted to approve this motion to pay back Ken Paxton. So that's a pretty big development. Usually, it went along party lines for the most part, where mostly Republicans voted to approve this motion. But it seems like it has some steam, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Dade Phelan voted yes. That seems like a pretty big player to a good indication maybe that this could happen, especially in a $337 billion budget. $63,000. Like, it just seems like pennies to them.
That is very interesting because of the incredibly bad blood between Ken Paxton and Dade Phelan. All right, one more question for you. Today we are also learning about who would like to succeed Ken Paxton as Texas Attorney General. He, of course, is launching a primary challenge against Senator John Cornyn for the U.S. Senate seat. So who has now thrown their hat into the ring?
Well, the newest development today is Texas Senator Mays Middleton. He announced he's running for that empty spot, and he's already dedicating $10 million of his own money to go toward his campaign. So just a little backstory on Senator Middleton. He served in 2 terms as a House of Representative. He's now in his first term as a Texas Senator. President of an oil company. He does have a law degree from the University of Texas at law, but he does have a big challenger and a big I would say a big challenge ahead of him because he's going up against a former U.S. attorney in John Bash. He served the Texas Western District up until 2020. Served in the Trump administration and during his first term. He's even represented Elon Musk in a defamation case. So he has a very big legal history, and we know that Mays Middleton, he is a very conservative member in the Texas Senate. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out as we get closer to that 2026 election race. Seems so far away right now. We have so much more to talk about before
It will be here so quickly, though, and who knows which other candidates will jump into it. But thank you so much for following this.